One of the things I've been starting to take advantage of recently and want to continue getting better at is Parkinson's Law. Today is Monday, March 9th, 2026, and I woke up an hour and 50 minutes later than expected. Totally missed the alarm again, and I think it's as a result of coming back from the trip to Hawaii where the circadian rhythm's like 3 hours behind. I've been inching forward on the hours. I mean, if you look back a couple of days, it was like 10:30, and then it was 8, and then it was 6:50. So tomorrow should be better. It's only 9:40 right now, and we get to sleep by 10. That being said, why I lead with Parkinson's Law in this video right here is because the deep work that needed to get done that I had allotted from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. got done from 7:05 a.m. to 8 a.m. because I just had to do it in less time. The work just had to get done. And I decided not to move anything away from the schedule, but instead to just compress it. And it's funny how like you don't fuck around when you only have a certain amount of time to do something. Like there's no room for meandering around the idea of doing the work and doing some extracurricular stuff off to the side, or this weird like mental masturbation of kind of doing the work and kind of doing research but really not doing anything. I noticed that every time I'm on a ridiculous time crunch, I'm able to just get the work done. Like I had to update the website, updated our offers on there because they're just super out of date and people started asking about it, and it was one of the rocks that we had for the quarter with EOS. So I want to knock that one out today because I didn't have that much time to work, but then also list some new job listings, which were customer success and the content performance analyst. And I literally had 3 hours blocked to do that. And I ended up getting it done in less than an hour because I just had only less than an hour to do it. And I made such efficient use of the AI, and I didn't do anything that wasn't the work because I only had a limited amount of time to do it. So what I've been trying to do, because I think there's like a kind of a double-edged sword to this, is I'm trying to take advantage of Parkinson's Law without only living in chaos all the time. Because like the last couple weeks where like we were prepping for the Hawaii trip, going on the Hawaii trip, like it was an intense prep week. Like if you go back to the whiteboards from a couple weeks ago, like I was waking up at 3 a.m., 3:30 a.m., 4 a.m. every day and going to sleep at like 10, 11, because there was just that much work that was on my plate. And what I noticed was like I'm able to work very efficiently during those times, but it's not necessarily the best headspace to be in, because then when it's not a crazy amount of work that's on your plate, you tend to just self-destruct. So I'm trying to take advantage of Parkinson's Law without having life just be chaos. But it is interesting how you can really take advantage of it from time to time. So I'll keep you updated on how we keep being able to abuse this law. Until then, I don't know. We're up at 6:50 today, got a little bit of deep work done in the morning. Today was our post-production manager's first day. This was a big hire that we made inside of Brandsharks. Was one of the biggest roles that we brought on so far, and she'll take a lot of responsibility off of my plate, which I'm really excited for. One thing I've noticed from hanging around some like really baller entrepreneurs, and I don't mean baller in the sense of like Miami, Rolex, Lamborghini. I mean baller in the sense of like actually doing hundreds of millions of dollars a year and like being humble about it. The guys that I'll hang around that are like that, like they are ruthless about bringing the right people onto the team. It's not about how can I do more work. It's about how can I create an environment that attracts people who are absolute studs onto the team. And that's been something that I'm super, super thankful to have witnessed firsthand with a couple friends of mine that are doing really, really well. And I'm glad I was able to download at least a piece of that so I can have that same mindset. Because it used to be very much just like, how does Danny do the best work? Now it's like, how does Danny get the people around him and train them and equip them with the resources and create the environment that attracts the right people? So I had a new post-production manager join on today. Really excited about her. She seems really promising. We did some intense onboarding on day one. We exposed her to pretty much all the kinds of calls that we'll do. I think the big challenge that we'll face is going to be like learning social media from someone who's been in all different sorts of media and post-production other than social media. So it's kind of made it a forcing function for me to create the methodology by which we make social media and like how we create our content. So I've been, like I say, it's a forcing function. I haven't been like really thinking about this like crazy, but just things have been hitting me. with different ideas and things that need to happen. So I've been working on my social media content theory, which I'll continue making videos about. But basically, it's an iteration on the big levers, small levers that I talk about in a lot of our community calls, which is like the big levers are things like the topics that you talk about. So like you'll notice that these videos don't do really well at all. A, because I don't care and I'm not trying to make them do well. But B, it's like the topic is random guy's life that he's talking about himself all the time. Like that's not an inherently good topic. But the videos that I'll make on Travel Hack and Instagram will get 10 million views. So topic being very important, hook being very important, angle being very important. The fact that there's no fluff, I call it flufflessness, being important. Ironic as I'm wearing a very fluffy jacket. Got medium levers like the format of the video, visuals throughout the video, credibility in the video, camera presence, things like that. And then small levers that are like captions, hashtags, etc. So I'm starting to work through this methodology so that way I can teach it to someone from scratch. That way we can start like breeding script writers, breeding strategists, and everybody's on the same page. Our social media managers, post-production managers, sales reps, everybody as we start to grow understands the Brand Sharks methodology. I think that that's going to be a really big play for us over a long enough time horizon. I think the mistake I used to make around this was like I would just try and solve that in an afternoon and then like not solve it and then get disappointed. So that's that. Did our standard 5 reach outs. All the non-negotiables were in the books. One thing I want to touch on right here is double dips and reps. I've noticed in the last couple months in particular, the talks that I've given on whether it's podcasts, like mastermind talks or just impromptu sessions that I'll give when there's people around and talk about social media, or just like one-on-ones and calls and coaching as a whole, have really started to get better. And the metric I use to track this is like how many people come up to me and talk with me for a while after the talk that's given. And then on our coaching calls, like how many people come week over week to the calls, because the group is free. It's skool.com/social. Like you can join the group and see the calls. So people aren't joining just simply because there's some sort of sunken cost and they've paid and they feel like they have to. It's really a matter of like, I feel like I'm getting value week over week. So I'm going to continue going to these calls, and the calls continue to grow. So one of the things that I feel like is a result of that is just reps. Like this is video 184. I think we're halfway through doing a year of these videos every single day. I think I've missed like 3 or so days over the course of half a year. But this is 7 minutes and 38 seconds rolling right now of talking to the camera and getting the reps in of speaking. And I think that that's something that shouldn't be slept on. So, and I'm constantly doing it right before bed, where I'm freaking, I'm not really that tired right now, but like a lot of these times you scroll through the videos, like I'm pretty tired on these ones. And I think it's getting those reps in while tired matters a ton. And the philosophy I have with this, people say, Danny, why do you do these free coaching calls? It would make sense to just charge for them or just not do it. It's woman in the red dress, whatever. I view it as a double, triple, quadruple dip. I get content for myself. I get to practice my coaching, which to me matters the most. Put goodwill out into the world. Also just build up a bank of training and libraries. I get to practice my methodology and also be able to bring on new clients as a result of it as well. Like people come into the group, get nurtured, and they're like, I'd just rather have you do it for me, Danny. Awesome, we'll take care of it. And then also bring on new team members as well from it. So I get 7 things effectively for doing one thing for free. So double dipping, getting in the reps, Parkinson's law, and then just a documentation on how we're building our methodology for content, which I think is like a big play over the next medium-ish period of time. So that's what I got for you on this Monday. I'm gonna wind down, upload this, go to bed, and get after it tomorrow. See you there.